violence.
All right, 3 children are recovering this morning after getting dumped out of a Ferris wheel at a Tennessee fair.
Those kids fell 30 to 40 feet. Witnesses say the basket that they were in appeared to get caught on the wheel as it was making its circle. Then the basket tipped over, spilling them out. Officials say they were hospitalized, still are, but they are talking now and alert with the medical staff. More information is expected to be released at a news conference just a little later this morning. We'll keep you posted. A Kansas water park, meanwhile, remains closed today after a 10-year-old boy died on a water slide. Investigators say Caleb Schwab died from a severe neck injury. He was riding on the Root water slide at Schlitterbahn over the weekend. That slide is 168 feet tall, which is the world's tallest water slide. Authorities are trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. We know 2 women were also hurt while they were riding in the same raft as the boy.
A man is dead after a house fire in Pottersville. First responders pulled the man from his home just west of West Plains yesterday. The victim's name has not been released. The state fire marshal is investigating the cause.
Today marks 2 years since the shooting death of Michael Brown. The 18-year-old man was unarmed when he was shot by Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson. A grand jury chose not to indict Wilson, and the Department of Justice cleared Wilson of any civil rights violations. A report showed Brown was going for the officer's gun when it happened. Brown's death sparked months of protest and inspired the Black Lives Matter movement. There will be a vigil later this morning at the memorial there in Ferguson, and a national moment of silence will take place at 11:55 today.
1 person is dead, another injured after a shooting right outside a St. Louis funeral home. Police say it started with an argument over custody of the dead woman's daughter. A fight broke out, gunshots then rang out. Now, the man who was shot and killed was trying to keep the girl's father from taking his daughter away from the funeral. Another person was shot in the leg. The shooter is in custody this morning.
Now, in the race for the White House, a new round of Republicans are rejecting Donald Trump, while other newbies are pledging their support. Here's the latest from Washington.
In a Washington Post op-ed today, Republican Senator Susan Collins writes, Donald Trump lacks the temperament, self-discipline, and judgment to be president, showing a complete disregard for common decency. This after 50 Republican national security experts say they won't vote for Trump. They say he'd be the most reckless president in American history.
This is a movement that's been swimming upstream against an avalanche of negative media.
Trump heads to North Carolina today. A Monmouth University national poll puts him 13 points behind Hillary Clinton, but he is getting new support.
And I'm going to vote for Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
And more criticism from Clinton on Trump's economic team.
He's got 3 Wall Street money managers, an oil baron, a former chief economist at one of the big banks at the heart of the financial crisis.
Trump's changing tax brackets, bringing his tax cut plan in line with Washington Republicans.
I am going to cut regulations massively.
And he's promising to give families a full child care deduction. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is now facing a new wrongful death lawsuit by the parents of 2 Americans who were killed in Benghazi. They accuse her of defamation and mishandling classified information that led terrorists to their location. The Clinton campaign points out she has been cleared.
A group backing medical marijuana in Missouri says it doesn't have enough valid signatures, but it plans to go to court to get a proposed constitutional amendment on the November ballot. The initiative is about 2,200 signatures short in the St. Louis area. Here's why. Local election authorities invalidated more than 10,000 signatures.
Most everyone seems connected to the internet these days through their phones and laptops, but for some parts of the country, that connectivity is often limited. Now a group of senators is hoping to bridge that divide.
For some Americans, signing on to the internet isn't as easy as a click of a button. West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito says roughly 30% of people in her state don't have access to broadband service that meets the Federal Communication Commission's requirements.
What I found is a lot of other states have the same problem, particularly in rural areas.
So she's teaming up with Senators Angus King in Maine, Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota, and John Bozeman in Arkansas to form a broadband caucus. They all have communities with significant roadblocks to connectivity.
If you're going to develop new businesses, have entrepreneurs, run a small business, you've got to have good internet. Even in emergency situations, we find it hampering.
Just this past year, the FCC found that roughly 23 million Americans lack access to high-speed internet. Capitol tells me the new caucus will work to connect the rural areas and bridge the divide.
Highlight the problem, get good statistics, and find solutions to get quicker, more accessible internet access to the rural parts of our country.
And it's not just households. The FCC also says 47% of our nation's students lack broadband connectivity in their schools. The FCC says more work could be done in both the private and public sectors to expand access to all Americans. This group of senators plan to make it possible. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
All right, the popular Broadway play Hamilton has been selling out since its debut.
If you can't make it to New York to see the play, the Library Center here in Springfield might be the next best thing. Shayla Patrick has that story. Hey, Shayla.
Hey guys, a new traveling exhibit has actually been put up inside the Library Center concourse, giving patrons a look into Alexander Hamilton's life and the impact he's had on the American economy. Alexander Hamilton was the first U.S. Secretary of Treasury and played a major role in setting the groundwork for economic systems that are still in place today. The exhibit details Hamilton's role in the Revolutionary War and also sheds light on exactly how he's influenced the economy. Library directors say the information on display provides a good look at why Hamilton is called the man who made America modern.
He was an immigrant to this country, and he fought in the Revolution, and he became our first Treasury Secretary. And really, a lot of the things that he did are the way that America is today in the governing setup. And so he worked closely with the Founding Fathers, and we're just excited to have this exhibit.
On August 16th and September 9th, the Library Center will also offer two separate programs that are designed to give patrons a look even more into Alexander Hamilton's life. They'll be interactive and a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen the exhibit yet, make sure you get out there this month. Back to you.
Will do. Thank you, Shayla. Something to see there. This is also something to see. Jason Bourne's latest adventure is one of the top draws at the box office, and the action hero's birthplace is getting some attention as well. Someone decorated one of the Nixa city limit signs with a smaller sign declaring the birthplace of Jason Bourne. It was revealed in the second Bourne movie that the super spy was born right here in Nixa, Missouri. MoDOT says, though, that addition is technically vandalism, so they did have to take it down.
Time now 6:09. Delta delays today. The company trying to recover from a global outage. How many flights are canceled so far?
And it is 6:09 on your Tuesday morning as we look live at Bull Shoals. Beautiful sight out there. Brandon will let us know how hot we're going to get today, who's going to be under an advisory for the heat, and our next chance of seeing rain.
#1 in the Ozarks. You're watching KY3 Ozarks Today with Maria Niger, Paul Adler, and Storm Team meteorologist Brandon Beck. The place to be, on air, online, on the go. And now, your KY3 Storm Team forecast.
Oh my, I walked out the door this morning, I don't know about you, and I thought...
Liz McGiffin explained it as getting hit in the face with a wet washcloth. And something about it cracked me up.
The potential, yeah. It has the potential to get hit in the face with a wet washcloth today, yeah.
I can't top that. That's pretty good.
I don't know. You'll give it a shot.
Well, yeah, I got, what, 2 more hours to think of something. No, it's going to be humid. That's the point, and that's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But you know what? I'm telling you this, folks, because we have yet to have this big, long streak of hot, humid